Be with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Bert, Len and I always poke fun at the front office of the Rams and also the quarterback situation that existed when you were playing and then now. Was it a zoo when you were there?
In a way, it was a zoo, but not really, because really the owner's intentions are picture perfect. She wants to do the best thing she can to help the ball club win. Sometimes she doesn't do it in the right direction, and I don't think it's necessarily her fault, because everyone can't know everything about an organization, and that might be her one shortcoming, but she's got good intentions. As far as a quarterback, it really wasn't as bad as people seem to make it, and people in the press seem to make a bigger part than what it really was, because I was a starting quarterback. There wasn't any problem there. I mean, there wasn't any concern other than in the press.
Let me ask you something, Bert. Now, I'm looking at you, and you look healthy, you look strong, you look like you could go. Explain to us why you retired.
Well, I am strong. I feel good, but I did have a pretty severe problem. I ruptured a disc in my neck between the 5th and 6th cervical and had an anterior fusion where they go in and operate through the front and take a piece of bone out of your hip and fix it. And basically, it fixes that problem, so to speak, but it's not something that you can go out and play with, because, as you know, the artificial turf is hard. If you hit your head on it, it's not like messing up a knee. It's possible quadriplegia, and it's not something that I can play with, and it's not a chance I want to take. I enjoy my family, and I want to be a provider for them.
The man sitting next to me could have been one of the all-time greats in the National Football League. Let's take a look at the career of quarterback Bert Jones.
Few things are sadder in life or football than great talent unfulfilled. Bert Jones had great talent. No one threw a football better. No one began their career with more promise.
When he came up, he was probably one of the finest prospects, I guess, that we have seen come into the National Football League in a number of years. He looked like he was going to live up to the great potential that he had, because he was a great athlete as well as being a great passer.
Besides endless athletic ability, Jones had charisma. When he entered the huddle, electricity was felt both by fans and his teammates. For this was a young man who loved to play football, and his carefree, unabashed enthusiasm offered Baltimoreans a stark contrast to the most hallowed figure in Colt history. Compared to taciturn John Unitas, Jones was a fiery, emotional player. He had an inherited sense of ease within the milieu of professional football. For if ever a player was to the manner born, it was Bert Jones, who, as a toddler, followed his father around the locker rooms and summer camps of Paul Brown's Cleveland Browns. Bert's father was the great Dub Jones, number 86, who once tied an NFL record by scoring 6 touchdowns against the Bears.
The 6th Cleveland touchdown occurs after a Bear interception gives Cleveland the ball at midfield. Then Graham heaves, and who receives? Why, of course, it's that one-man scoring whirlwind, Dub Jones, taking it in stride and racking up his 6th touchdown.
20 years later, the bloodlines proved true. The son was no less gifted than the father. In 1976, Bert Jones was named NFL Player of the Year. In 1977, he led the league in passing. For 3 consecutive years, Jones' accurate arm kept the Colts on top the AFC Eastern Division, usually besting arch-rival New England for the title.
Bert was a great quarterback. You know, he was the type of guy that we always hated to go up against, because for me as a free safety it was difficult, because he could throw the ball about 50 yards, about 4 feet off the ground, you know, without having to put any arch on it.
Those were Baltimore's banner years. Both Jones and the team were the toast of the town. During Baltimore's 3-year reign, Jones was at his best against division foes, winning an amazing 19 of 24 in that span. Thus, he was a marked man wherever he played, and his style of play made him an easy target. injuries piled up, and the assaults on his body took their toll. Jones began spending more time on the sidelines than between them. The Colts started their decline. Last season, after 9 years in Baltimore, Jones was traded to the Rams. His tenure in Los Angeles was brief, just 4 games. A vertebrae injury was the final blow, sending Jones to the bench for good.
Get up, man, get up. Whoop, whoop.
The former quarterback now lives the country life in Ruston, Louisiana.
I enjoy the country. I enjoy Ruston, Louisiana. If I had my choice, I would enjoy being in the outdoors most of the time. Yes, I guess I am a country boy.
Watch that one over there, Ben. Watch him. Hit it.
In rural Ruston, Bert Jones now has the time for farm and family, far from the hazards and hullabaloo of professional football. He leaves a legacy of unreached greatness.
Unreached greatness, unfulfilled dreams. Is that an accurate description of your career as a pro?
Oh, I think it's totally wrong. I felt I had a great career. I played 10 years. I played with a lot of people that I enjoyed playing with, played under some great coaches. The only thing that we didn't do was win the Super Bowl, and I think that's a lot of luck of the draw.
Well, let me ask you something. Nick and I, when we retired, we had a choice. You did not have a choice because of the injury that you sustained. You go all the way back to when you were a youngster playing the game of football. What was it like not being in uniform for the first time since you were a teenager?
Well, I think it was trying, but, you know, there were some, it felt good for one reason, you know, you didn't have the worries of it, but I'll miss football as well as y'all probably have also, but there is life after football, as they say, and I'm a realist, and I knew it wasn't going to last forever, but it did end prematurely, but it's something that I have to learn to live with.
Bob Irsay, he's been the owner of the Colts. When you were there, they've had a revolving door in the head coach's office. Can the Colts ever return to the tradition of greatness?
In my opinion, with Bob Irsay, the owner, no. I think that either he has to change or he has to sell in order for the team to carry on and go on. Last time I played with them, there were 45 men. I think in 1 year there are only 2 players that I played with on the team. So it is a revolving door, and you can't have stability like that.
Bert, let me ask you quickly about the problems surrounding the National Football League right now with the drug and alcohol problems.
I think it's unfortunate. I think it's real. I don't think it's of the magnitude that some people seem to think it is, but you know, the National Football League's not any different than a lot of our society. I mean, we don't have any way to police drugs in the U.S. outside of football, so certainly people can't expect the NFL to be able to do what today's society and the law forces can't do in normal society in football. I think it should be stopped. I think that we need to take stronger measures against it, but it's going to be tough to do. And it's there. It's not as big as what people think it is, but it is a problem.
Where does Bert Jones go from now? What are you going to be doing?
Well, I'm going to be back in Louisiana, as I've always said I would be. I'm in the lumber business back in Louisiana. I'm working with LSU Sports, doing their television, doing a syndicated television show about LSU sports. And really, I'm just going back to Louisiana to live the life that I've always intended on living. It's just maybe 5 or 6 years premature.
Bert, thank you very much for joining us on your birthday. And you look happy, and we appreciate you visiting
Well, I appreciate it.
Well, he's happy. You can see that. Another man that's happy is Frank Cush.